Alright guys, Jason Zorn's Torcon Weather Team. We are in Mississippi headed for Tupelo. We have a large and dangerous tornado on the ground headed directly for Tupelo. And you'll have to ignore the GPS and all that stuff going on in the background. We got a lot of stuff going on tonight, guys. We are in Dixie Alley, Mississippi. Super outbreak. We're actually calling it early outbreak, Operation Early Outbreak. Honestly, we haven't seen a tornado outbreak or a tornado setup like this in about 15 years, honestly. Last time we saw an outbreak like this was probably 2011. The last one I can remember, and that was the Alabama outbreak at EF3 went right through Tuscaloosa. So that's what we're dealing with for the next 24 hours. There was a huge line that went through St. Louis earlier and produced multiple tornadoes. It was a QLCS, or a quasi-linear convective system. Went right through St. Louis. We had Larry Kehoe, one of our teammates, was actually in the line of fire on that. He had to, he was one of our radar operators. He actually had to come off the radio and take cover with his family. So, but the situation that we got in Mississippi right now is we have a large and dangerous tornado that has been on the ground. It's lifted a couple times. There's a couple chasers behind it coming from the south right now. We're going to try to cut this cell off from the north. It is supercellular. It is a rogue supercell at that. So we're going to try to get down here, and we're getting all kinds of bells and whistles going off.
Until 1:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time. At 12:23 a.m. Central Daylight Time, a large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Jefferson, for 8 miles southwest of Bermuda.
Alright guys, as you can hear, the National Weather Service has a large and dangerous tornado over Jefferson, Mississippi right now. This is the one that we are going after. It has been reported on the ground as a large stovepipe a couple of times from the chasers that were down south with it. It is making its way back up north. It's moving north at about 60 miles an hour. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to try to get a nocturnal intercept on this thing. We're trying to book it down there. We're about 40 minutes from Tupelo, and as you can see up there in the corner, I've actually got the radar up in the corner so you guys can see what we're looking at. The radar is actually brought to you by Radar Omega. I got to throw our plugs out there tonight because we're going to be busy with these live streams for the next 24 hours or so. So thank you to Radar Omega for supporting us in what we do. Shout out to Nick over there, good guy. So right now we are headed east on I-22 coming out of Memphis. We were actually just there at South Memphis, right there at the Tennessee Mississippi border. We've been sitting there for about 2 hours or so, 2.5 hours, watching this line come out of Arkansas, and now we're starting to get some rogue nocturnal supercells. Conditions are right down here right now, guys. But the thing with these storms is we're having to watch them on tilt 4 because of how low they're riding. So if we're watching on radar, if you have Radar Omega, and you're watching these storms, you're tracking where we're at and what we're doing, you're going to have to look at these on tilt 4 because they are low riding storms. which is there's a lot of low-level wind shear right now in Mississippi, Western Tennessee, Arkansas area, all the way over to Louisiana. Lots of low-level wind shear. It's been blowing like crazy around us. We were sitting there right off of I-22 at an exit right off of I-22, and we're just getting rocked back and forth there in the truck. And yeah, these things are, when they start to fire up, they're going to fire up big time. Probably not a lot tonight. We might get a couple lines through here tonight, a couple of rogue supercells like we're going after now. But outside of that, we're just going to keep watching. We're going to ping these things as we see them pop up. We're going to try to go after them a little bit. But the main event is for tomorrow. The main event is going to be after sunrise, probably sometime after 7 o'clock, and we're going to stick with this thing all day. We've already made our plans to stick with it all day. We're going to run this thing as far as we can. Our plan is to actually try to stay north of I-20, and my predictions after talking to our chief meteorologist, got another one going off. Hang on. Alright, so it sounds like Grenada County's got a second tornado warning on the backside of this cell. So that's the ping pong ball size hail, which if anybody knows how big a ping pong ball is, it's about 1.5 inches in diameter. So that's some pretty decent hail. It is a hailer. We were just talking about that a few minutes ago before we came live on air. Definite hailer. But all the ingredients are there for this to break out tomorrow. From the way the shear is coming in, you got the warm air mixing with the cold air. You got cooler on the top, warmer on the bottom. It's warm at the ground level. I mean, we're sitting down here at 74 degrees right now. So you got a good mixture there, and it's going to cause all kinds of problems. And with the heat of the day tomorrow, we all know what that does. Everybody knows what that does when it comes to producing thunderstorms. So you got warm, moist air coming up off the Gulf. It's probably going to lift. It's already lifted a couple of times. It looks like we cut out. Signal's kind of sketchy down here in Mississippi sometimes. But we are about a half hour outside of Tupelo, so we're definitely going to get ahead of the storm. Get ahead of this supercell. Nocturnal. I'm not a fan of chasing at night, but the powers that be with Torcon weather team said we need to get after these. So, and the main reason is, yes, all of the cuts with the National Weather Service. They're down to minimum manning. They've made all kinds of cuts at the National Weather Service. They're cutting maintenance. They're cutting maintenance to the outdoor warning systems, as we've talked about before. Anybody that saw the a couple months ago, we did a podcast with Jim Sublett, our chief meteorologist. He's also the chief meteorologist for KDFM in Southwest Missouri, radio station out there, and did a podcast with him. I got invited to do a podcast and talked about the cuts for not maintaining, where they're no longer maintaining the outdoor warning systems. I'm not going to get into all that mess tonight, but it's pretty much they think smart technology is the way to go. Well, we're giving you part of the smart technology. That's why we're out here. We're out here trying to get you guys all the information that we can so that you guys can stay safe, so that you guys can stay alive. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is keeping you guys safe, keeping you guys informed as much as possible. All right, so our tornado that we're going after, our target tornado, is now a particularly dangerous situation. It is a PDS. So this is gonna get hairy, guys. It's gonna get really hairy. So.
Vortex 2, or somewhere Kraken 1, rear target storm, Golf Whiskey X-ray, hails down to 2¾ inch, hail above 67, next dB feet 67, is climbing 210.
Alright, so this thing's got a meso of 10, and it's got a decibels of Z, guys. This thing is going to be rain wrapped. Plain and simple. It's only a Villa 14 right now, but it's climbing. But it's a meso of 10. It is churning like a butter churn. Probably a whole lot faster. More like a blender. Yeah, I'll go with a blender. Blender would be better. I think blender would be better. She's just shaking her head. So, she's trying to complain about my driving, is what it is, but has nothing to do with me. I'm getting blown all over the place. She says I'm a bad driver. I'm just kind of looking at her right now. She's ignoring me. But meso of 10, that's getting up there. Meso strength on it it's really starting to churn, and they're getting that information from radar, guys. They're not. Our storm chasers can't there sit and look at a tornado and go, okay, that's a meso of 15. That's radar is doing it. It could actually be a lot higher. Depending on where the radar site's at. There's a lot of things that factor into that. Where the radar site's at, how far away the radar site is, if there's any obstructions in the beam. It could even be, your numbers can fluctuate just because of a quick obstruction in the beam. I actually did a study on that while I was in school, talking about reflectivity beams and things like that with radar, and all it takes is a 2/10 of a second for a radar beam to get interrupted and give false numbers. So, sorry, I'm trying to list our radar operators at the same time. That way I don't have to look at radar while I'm driving and all that good jazz. Don't want to be messing with anything else right now because we're trying to quickly get to Tupelo.
Vortex 1, Vortex 2, Duck Hill, northwest of Duck Hill.
Alright guys, we got major damage reported. Alright, he's navigating us right now because we're running at night. They navigate us a lot. Alright guys, I apologize, my microphone came unplugged. Hopefully it stays on this time. I had to put it on charge too. My battery pack is not being very friendly. But yeah, hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube, guys. That way you guys get updates every time we go live. Subby gives forecasts on here. Jeff Smith will jump on with a forecast. I might jump on with a forecast once in a while, especially when it comes to things like this. We got another probably another event next weekend in the Ohio Valley. Back both fuzzy. Apparently we're having some sound issue, guys. Ask him if he can hear me. Alright guys, so my battery pack's trying to poo out on me. I need to order another one. That way I got a backup. But this could help too. But as I was saying before we lost sound, hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Share us with your friends. Head over to TorconWXteam.com. You can get all of our social media links there. It's on the homepage right there at the top of the homepage there. But sorry guys, we're trying to fix an audio problem here, but I guess we're coming through good now. So head over to our website, www.torconwxteam.com, and get on that homepage. All of our social media links are at the top. I can't even Alright guys, so I'm going to cut out of here real quick. I'm going to let this battery pack charge. And you're not missing out on much right now, except for me driving and talking, and yeah, nothing anybody wants to hear, right? But we'll be back here in a few minutes. I'm gonna let this battery pack charge back up for a little bit. Big shout out to Radar Omega for all their support that they give us, and that's the radar that you're seeing live on the screen right now, guys. Radar Omega. If you don't have it, get over to the app, download the app. It might cost a little bit of money, but it's not too bad at all. Not really. One of the least expensive radar apps out there. So